So yeah, Bitcoin hasn't been looking too good lately. Like I mentioned last week, I felt like last week's rally was a dead cat bounce, and sure enough, Bitcoin dumped from 24K all the way down to 21K today. And I don't think it's done capitulating. This week there's been quite a few catalysts which I think could put Bitcoin over the edge. Now make sure you guys stay tuned to the very end of the video so you don't miss any of the dirty details. So yeah, like I said, Bitcoin had a nice little pump to 24K last week, but good things do not last. And Bitcoin started crashing on Sunday, and now it's at around 21K as I'm filming this video. So the question of the day is this the final capitulation for Bitcoin? And as of right now, things are looking pretty dang bleak. A lot of crypto influencers or pumpers are telling us that the final capitulation has already come. However, I'm not like them. I'll give it to you guys straight. Plus, I'll throw down a few facts to really prove the points that I'm making this morning. So when will Bitcoin hit the bottom and start capitulating, you ask? Like I have mentioned in several previous videos, I think Bitcoin capitulation will come around the middle of September or early August area, and that's really when I'll start going ahead and using fiat to go ahead and buy Bitcoin. Now, we all know BTC is the first to pump during a bull market, so don't be that guy, don't be the sucker who go ahead and jumps into the hole of despair. This will be a great time to pick up some cheap BTC and possibly jump into some BTC farms or just hodl on your Ledger device, which is my #1 recommendation. So yeah, lots of big news coming this week. For one, we have the FOMC meeting coming tomorrow on the 26th. Now, the FOMC meeting itself isn't that big of a deal, but once the meeting is over, the Fed will go ahead and announce how they are hawkish or dovish and how much they're going to raise the federal interest rate by. The issue with this is it's a double-edged sword for Bitcoin and, well, BTC holders at least. If the Fed raises by 75 basis points, it will not really affect the price too much, at least in my opinion. However, if they are too dovish, then they will only do a 50 basis point hike, and this would be actually really bullish for Bitcoin, and the price would probably have a temporary pump. This would also show that the Federal Reserve is pretty damn incompetent, and they aren't really serious about tackling inflation. So with this in mind, it's actually very bullish for Bitcoin. The FOMC BP hike announcement itself will actually come out Wednesday, the 27th. But before that, we have a couple other bits of possibly scary news that will come out tomorrow on the 26th. Now, these announcements are the Consumer Confidence Index, or the CCI, as well as the new home sales numbers. Now, a lot of people are already talking about how the CCI, Consumer Confidence Index, will be even lower. It has been on a downtrend these past couple months, and the new home sales numbers are also expected to be rather low because we see all of the lumber contracting companies, construction contractors are lowering the cost of homes due to a foreseeable downturn in the economy, and they're also feeling the pressure to close these deals fast. All in all, consumer confidence is very low, and it looks like the housing bubble is about to burst as well. Now, back in 2008, there was a similar bubble, and taking a look at real estate prices back then, they have risen by a steady 11% each year. With the Fed raising rates, this will force banks to raise rates on loans that don't have a fixed interest rate. Now, this will effectively raise mortgage payments, and this will force many owners to go ahead and sell, and therefore speeding along the popping of the real estate housing bubble. Now, Thursday is really the nuclear day for both the equity and the stock markets, because the most important company earnings report will be released. On top of that, the GDP, the gross domestic product numbers, will also be released. Now, either announcement by itself is rather huge, but it's even bigger because both are being announced on the same day. It is very important that we go ahead and keep our ears tuned to see what the results are. Now, the GDP announcement will basically be like the nice base layer of the cherry pie, and then you're gonna have the earnings announcement, which will by Amazon and Apple and Intel, and that'll be like the little cherry on top that will go ahead and smash the pie in all the faces of all the permables out there. Now, these corporations are some of the biggest players in the equities market and will really set the pace for the market capitulation that will be coming to us over the next couple of months. Now, on top of all this, Microsoft and Google actually have their earnings report coming to us earlier this week. That's actually today, so that'll give us a nice crust for that sweet, sweet cherry pie. It's pretty much guaranteed that the US GDP numbers reported on Wednesday will be really bad, and these GDP numbers are negative for 2 consecutive quarters, then we are actually officially in a recession. And guess what, guys? This will be the second quarter with negative GDP growth. Yep, this will be big news, and it's quite possibly that the markets are anticipating it. It's priced in. We can't be guaranteed that we won't be catching a falling knife if we decide to buy while inflation is still rampant. Now, what does this all mean for the Bitcoin price? I think we're heading towards the direction of more capitulation. Now, as the economy slows down, people are going to have to take their money out of risk on assets and use it to spend on everyday items like food, gas, and shelter. Also, the housing bubble is about to burst, so it's quite likely that many people could be cashing out on their crypto earnings and moving into sort of real life real estate investments, as this could be the perfect opportunity to buy a house, and it's right around the corner. Personally, I think the macroeconomic situation looks bad, but the long-term prospect of Bitcoin remains unchanged. Now, what do you guys think about the current macroeconomic situation? Will you be buying the dip, or will you be saving your money to pay for everyday goods and everyday items? Personally, living in Japan, changes seem to affect it at a different pace economically because it is an island country and it has the island country effect. Now, coming back to America and seeing so many people not working and homeless, well, at least in Portland, it really helps me understand how the economy is really doing and not just taking in the mainstream media that is spit out by the oligarchs. Now, I hope this video has been informational for you guys, and I hope that you guys also have an amazing week, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace out, guys.